Hey there history buffs, and welcome back to the channel. On this day in history, we will explore the life and career of Sir William Cavendish, who passed away on this day, the 25th of October 1557. Though Cavendish may not be as widely recognised as some of the other figures from Tudor history, he played a pivotal role in Henry VIII's reign and the early years of the English Reformation. His work as a courtier, administrator and treasurer of the chamber earned him a lasting legacy, and his marriage to Bess of Hardwick, one of the most fascinating women of the era, further solidified his position in Tudor society. So sit back and let's dive into the life of Sir William Cavendish. Sir William Cavendish was born around 1505 into a gentry family of Suffolk. He was the third son of Thomas Cavendish, a prominent figure who served as the clerk of the pipe in the Exchequer, and his wife Alice Smith. The Cavendish family was well connected, and William's father held a respected office in the English government, which helped pave the way for William's own career at court. Despite being a younger son who might typically have fewer prospects, Cavendish was able to carve out a significant role for himself through his administrative skills and political acumen. Cavendish likely received a solid education, which was common for young men of his standing, especially those who intended to pursue careers in law, administration, or court life. While there are limited records detailing his early years, it's clear that William was ambitious and focused on making a name for himself in the royal court. William Cavendish's rise to prominence really began during the reign of King Henry VIII, a time marked by religious upheaval and political transformation. Cavendish's first major role was as a visitor of the monasteries during the dissolution of the monasteries, one of the most transformative and controversial events of Henry's reign. This process, which took place between 1536 and 1541, saw the closure of destruction of Catholic religious houses across England, as Henry VIII sought to break with the Pope and seize the wealth of the Church. Cavendish was tasked with overseeing the suppression of these religious houses, reporting on their financial status, and organising the transfer of their assets to the Crown. It was a significant role, one that required both tact and ruthlessness, as many of the monasteries were centuries old and deeply embedded in local communities. Cavendish, like many of his contemporaries, profited from this massive redistribution of wealth and land. He acquired substantial properties and cemented his position within Henry VIII's court as a reliable and effective administrator. Through his work in the dissolution, Cavendish gained valuable experience in financial management, which would serve him well in his later career. It was also during this time that he began to accumulate a significant personal fortune, which would later allow him to establish the Cavendish family as one of the wealthiest and most influential in England. In the years following the dissolution of the monasteries, Cavendish's career continued to rise. By 1546, he had been appointed to the Exchequer, where he served as one of the principal financial officers of the Crown. The Exchequer was responsible for managing the royal finances, including the collection of taxes and the payment of royal debts. Cavendish's work here earned him a reputation for diligence and efficiency. It wasn't long before he was appointed to an even more prestigious position, Treasurer of the Chamber. The role of Treasurer of the Chamber was one of the most important financial offices in the Tudor government. The Treasurer was responsible for overseeing the King's private finances and managing the royal household's expenses. Cavendish held this position under both King Henry VIII and his son King Edward VI, which is a testament to his skill and reliability. It was a position of great trust, as the treasurer had direct access to the monarch and controlled the flow of the money within the court. As Treasurer of the Chamber, Cavendish worked closely with some of the most powerful men in the realm, including Edward Seymour, Duke of Somerset, who served as Lord Protector during Edward VI's minority. Cavendish's ability to navigate the complex and often treacherous world of Tudor politics allowed him to maintain his position through the reign of Edward VI and into the brief reign of Mary I. One of the most significant events in William Cavendish's personal life was his marriage to Elizabeth Hardwick, better known as Bess of Hardwick, in 1547. This marriage would have profound consequences for both Cavendish and for the future of the Cavendish family. Bess of Hardwick was one of the most remarkable women of the Tudor period. Born into modest circumstances, Bess used her intelligence, charm, and strategic marriages to climb the social ladder, eventually becoming one of the wealthiest women in England. At the time of their marriage, Cavendish was already a successful courtier and administrator, but it was through Bess's ambitions and management skills that the Cavendish family would come to dominate English society in the decades to come. Together, William and Bess had 8 children, including 3 sons, Henry, William, and Charles, who would go on to continue the Cavendish line. Bess was instrumental in managing the family's finances and estates, and she worked tirelessly to secure advantageous marriages for her children. After Cavendish's death, Bess would go on to marry several more times, including to George Talbot, the 6th Earl of Shrewsbury, one of the most powerful men in England. Her final marriage elevated her to the rank of Countess, and she used her wealth and influence to build one of the grandest estates of the period, Hardwick Hall, which still stands today. While William Cavendish's career was impressive in its own right, his marriage to Bess ensured that the Cavendish family's fortune and influence would continue to grow long after his death. Today, the Cavendish name is most associated with the Dukes of Devonshire, a title that was first granted to their descendants. Cavendish's career did not end with Henry VIII's death in 1547. Under Edward VI, he continued to serve as Treasurer of the Chamber, working closely with the Duke of Somerset and other key figures in the young king's government. Somerset, as Lord Protector, wielded enormous power during Edward VI's minority, and Cavendish's loyalty to him helped maintain his position during this period of uncertainty. However, the political landscape changed dramatically with the death of Edward VI in 1553. Mary's ascension to the throne marked a reversal of many of the Protestant reforms that had been introduced during Edward's reign. Cavendish, who had served under both Henry VIII and Edward VI, was able to navigate this religious and political shift, retaining his influence and position under Mary's government. Cavendish's ability to survive and even thrive during these turbulent years speaks to his adaptability and political skill. Despite the dramatic shifts in religious policy and court politics, Cavendish managed to maintain his estates, his wealth, and his influence. Sir William Cavendish died on the 25th of October 1557 at the age of approximately 52. His death marks the end of a long and distinguished career in royal service. He was buried in St. Botolph's Church, Aldgate, London. Cavendish's legacy lived on through his children and most notably through his widow, Bess of Hardwick. Bess's determination to advance the fortunes of her family ensured that the Cavendish name would endure for centuries to come. Through strategic marriages and astute management of the family's estates, Bess and her descendants built one of the most powerful and influential aristocratic dynasties in England. Today, the Cavendish family is best known for their seat at Chatsworth House, one of the most magnificent stately homes in England. Chatsworth, which was built by Cavendish's descendants, stands as a symbol of the family's wealth and influence. The Cavendishes were eventually ennobled as the Dukes of Devonshire, and their impact on British history is still felt today. Sir William Cavendish may not be as famous as some of the other figures from the Tudor period, but his contributions to the reigns of Henry VIII, Edward VI, and Mary I were significant. As a courtier, administrator, and treasurer of the chamber, Cavendish played a key role in managing the finances of the Tudor court and overseeing the dissolution of the monasteries. His marriage to Bess of Hardwick further cemented his place in history, and together they laid the foundation for the rise of the Cavendish family as one of the most powerful aristocratic families in England. Thank you for watching today's video on Sir William Cavendish. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But until the next one, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.